Welcome to Kickoff Chronicles. Soccer Ball Fire. Kickoff Chronicles is your go-to destination for the latest football news, match analysis, and in-depth discussions on the biggest stories in the world of football. Whether it's the Premier League, Champions League, or international tournaments, we break it all down with passion and insight. Manchester City's mental problem risks derailing their season after another Real Madrid setback. The very thing that once set the reigning four-time Premier League champions apart from the rest is now becoming their biggest weakness. Less than 4 months ago, Pep Guardiola was asked what he valued most in his Manchester City players. At the time, City had won 9 of their first 12 matches across all competitions, remaining unbeaten. They looked more than capable of securing a 5th consecutive Premier League title and had snatched late results against Wolverhampton and Arsenal. The coach's response is worth revisiting after City took a 2-1 lead against Real Madrid with 10 minutes left at the Etihad Stadium, only to turn it into a 3-2 defeat. "They have an incredible mentality," Guardiola said back then. "Most of them are very strong, very competitive. There's a tendency to relax. I always worry about that when we win again. What will happen? A drop-off after winning. But I don't see it. I don't see it in winning or losing, playing well or badly. I don't see that decline. They push each other. They push me and my staff with ideas, with new things. If I don't like something, they take it well because it's for the good of the team. They forget immediately, whether they win or lose. They're ready for the next one. What's next? They are true competitors." How distant those words seem now. Because if anything defines Manchester City at the moment, it is their mental fragility. They have lost no fewer than 5 matches from winning positions in the 2024-25 season, as many as in the previous 4 seasons combined. Real Madrid's turnaround, from trailing 2-1 in the 80th minute to winning 3-2 by the 91st, was emphatic and stunning, but it didn't come out of nowhere. Nor was it the only comeback to cost City this season. Guardiola's team was leading Manchester United before conceding a Bruno Fernandes penalty in the 88th minute, only to see Amad Diallo score the winner 2 minutes later. The citizens also threw away a 2-0 lead against Paris Saint-Germain to lose 4-2, while suffering similar collapses against Sporting and Brighton. At the Amex Stadium, City were ahead until the 77th minute, but trailed just 6 minutes later. City have also squandered leads in games they didn't lose. For instance, they were 2-0 up against Brentford last month, but saw Thomas Frank's side equalize with goals in the 82nd and 92nd minutes. A worrying trend. City's tendency to collapse has been most evident in the Champions League. They have conceded 8 goals in the final 16 minutes of 5 of their 9 games in Europe's elite competition this season. The most spectacular meltdown actually came in a match they didn't lose, the 3-3 draw with Feyenoord, but it certainly felt like a defeat, as they blew a 3-0 lead by conceding 3 goals between the 74th and 89th minutes. However, City might have thought they had escaped their struggles when they scraped through the league phase by beating Club Brugge and finishing 22nd, just making the playoffs. Sure, they had to face Real Madrid, the undisputed kings of the competition, but they had eliminated them twice before and had beaten them 4-0 at the Etihad less than 2 years ago. City lived a charmed life for much of Tuesday's first leg. Their fans mocked Vinicius Jr. over Rodri winning the Ballon d'Or before kickoff, then breathed sighs of relief when the Brazilian was ruled offside for what would have been a penalty and when his deflected shot hit the crossbar. They laughed as Kylian Mbappe missed a big chance before halftime. They celebrated every block and tackle as if it were a goal. And when Holland sent Thibaut Courtois the wrong way to put City ahead in the 80th minute, their supporters thought they were heading to the Spanish capital next week with a precious lead. We gifted it away. But the same patterns they had shown throughout the league phase came back to haunt them on Tuesday. Ederson, who was at fault in defeats in Paris and Turin, as well as the disastrous draw with Feyenoord, was one of City's best players against Real Madrid until he played a dangerous short pass to Ruben Dias and then palmed Vinicius Jr.'s shot straight into the path of Brahim Diaz, gifting Madrid the equalizer. Rico Lewis, meanwhile, had an untimely lapse in concentration and lost possession to Vinicius, the last person he wanted to give the ball to, leading to Jude Bellingham's winner. City had seen this movie before, especially against Real Madrid, who knocked them out in 2022 with Rodrigo's stoppage time brace. But while that comeback at the Santiago Bernabeu felt like an exception, what happened on Tuesday at the Etihad Stadium felt much more like déjà vu. Guardiola struggled to explain what happened to his team, or rather, what keeps happening. "We weren't able to control the situation," he said. After 2-1, What happened has happened many times this season, against Feyenoord, Sporting, Brentford, United. In the end, we gave it away. At this level, it's very difficult. It's not the first time. It's happened many times, and that's why it's difficult. We talk about it, how to stop it, but it's hard. We need to understand that mistakes in certain areas at this level are hard to manage. It's happened many times. Groundhog Day. Guardiola insisted it wasn't an issue with individual players. Ederson has certainly been a common factor in many of City's collapses this season, but the manager admitted his team was suffering from a collective malaise, himself included. It belongs to all of us, not just the players. I have no problem accepting that it's not working as it did in the past. That's not the issue, but it's on all of us, he said. For me, it would be easy to blame a specific player, but that's ridiculous and doesn't work. Me first, and the players as well. They want it, how they run, how they fight, but the truth is we're not stable enough in these moments. Today wasn't an exception. It's happened many times. The fact that Guardiola repeatedly used the phrase, many times, illustrated just how much this feels like Groundhog Day for City over the past 3 months. Another concern for Guardiola is the realization that his team's season is close to unraveling. If City fail to overturn the tie at the Bernabeu, a stadium where they haven't won in their last 3 visits and have only won once in their last 6, they will be left fighting only for the FA Cup and a top 4 finish in the Premier League. The coming months, usually a period of thrilling Champions League nights and title races, may instead feel like a pre-season campaign. In truth, City have almost approached the last few months as if it were the end of the school year. The unique, relentless mentality Guardiola once praised has been replaced by desperation. And no one, not even the man known for his insatiable pursuit of perfection, seems to know how to get it back. If you love football as much as we do, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Follow us for daily content and join the conversation, because every great match starts with a kickoff.